Hi, I'm Maria.
And I'm Paul, 7 Stars Bar and Grill.
Today we're going to talk about Anchor's Christmas Ale 2019.
Now, we've talked about Anchor Brewing before. It originated and still is in San Francisco. And while the label says it was founded in 1896, the origin story goes back to the before the gold rush. It's one of America's first and oldest craft breweries, and was able to survive Prohibition and return back afterwards. And they invented, and they still produce their steam beer. So we've talked about this before. You can always go back and find the video when we talked about that.
Anchor Brewing, yep. So one more in a series of first. Anchor released one of America's first holiday beers post-Prohibition back in 1975. Which, fun fact, is the year I was born. Anchor's Christmas Ale 2019 is its 45th rendition of this holiday beer. Every year the heavily guarded recipe changes, but its goal is always the perfect winter warmer. Its inspiration is a joy for the changing season and celebration of the newness of life. It is only sold from November until mid-January, so we got our keg towards the end of the season. So it will be gone soon, and that'll be it for this year.
But it is still available.
We still have it.
Really good stuff. We'll go into that here in a minute. Now I'm going to quote Anchor Brewmaster Scott Ungerman, and what he said here is: slightly darker than last year's Christmas Ale, the 2019 edition is layered with toasted caramel and coffee flavors, with subtle hints of Mexican chocolate, rounded out with herbaceous spices.
I love that word,
love
herbaceous.
That herbaceous.
It sounds so fancy.
Yeah. What am I drinking here? Inhale the spiced whiff of Western evergreens, roasted malts, coastal flowers, and coastal flowers. Yeah. Says, that's a very fancy way of saying it tastes pretty good.
This beer, I have to say, I'm surprised that I liked it. I was kind of bracing myself for a really beery kind of taste, and I don't get that.
No.
I do get that chocolate note and stuff that they're talking about. The smell, the aroma, I'm not really getting the evergreens, which I was afraid of.
I think that could just be me. I don't know. I don't think it's just you. We don't have a beer nose. But I will say, I'm not going to say what I always say. I'm going to say that when we travel on our trips, when we're doing things, I am actively trying new beers. I'm actively trying local beers, and really, really trying to branch out to different beers, so that I could have a more well-rounded opinion of these beers that I'm tasting.
So what do you think of this one?
This one I like. It's not heavy. It's dark, and like Mario was saying, you get those flavors. You can taste that stuff that's in there.
Yeah, this is just not what I was expecting. It tastes more like a stout. I don't know. It's just, but it doesn't seem as heavy and thick as this.
Looking at it, that was my first thought. Oh, here's a big, thick, heavy stout. But no, it's tasty and light.
So next we're going to talk about Super Bowl Sunday here at 7 Stars. As with most things, we try to do Super Bowl Sunday a little bit different than most other bars.
Sports ball.
What was that?
Sports ball.
What's that?
Sports ball. Is
that a movie quote?
No, it's a nerdy thing.
Oh.
I'm not saying football or basketball. Sports ball.
I got you. Sorry.
Yeah.
According to the Mercury News, we are the #1 sports bar for geeks. Is that what the headline was? Sports bar for sci-fi?
Sports bar for sci-fi fans.
We'll find that.
Yeah. Updates
in this area, at least, most people we know spend Super Bowl at house parties. They are really big and really popular events around here. And those that do go to bars tend to go to bona fide sports bars, somewhere that has the NFL ticket, somewhere they've been watching the game all season long.
Yeah. It's not just us speculating, despite the fact that we are not sports fans. We have friends that are, and we've still got plenty of people come in and hang out that are avid sports fans.
And we do take all requests for our screens. So you will normally find local teams on our screens, the Niners, of course, the Sharks, the Warriors. I know enough about the latest controversy to not mention that other former Oakland team, because I don't know where everyone's standing on that. But I know some people are really upset. But people
Vegas Raiders.
If people make a request and we have the ability, we have it, like we don't have the NFL ticket, but if we have it, we'll put it up there. But we're definitely not a sports bar. So although in our earlier years we did try and do a few Super Bowls, we did have the NFL ticket back in the day.
I think maybe the first 3 years we had the ticket.
3 years, yeah.
We had multiple cable boxes on 9 different TVs, and we were able to play all those games. And
but like we said, even as popular as all the house parties are, it's really not a surprise that even though those first few years we did try doing a traditional Super Bowl viewing party, it was not action packed. We didn't get good action for it.
We know through our friends and through experience like that these people, they love our bar, we believe them, but when they want sports, and when they really want it, a lot of times they're just going to hang out at home. They're going to stock up the bar at home. They're going to buy the food and snacks, fire up the grill, whatever it is.
Or a real full-on sports bar.
Yeah,
so
totally.
Instead, it has become the one day a year that we show Star Wars movies open to close. We open at 11 a.m., we close at midnight, open to close Star Wars movies in our dining area, on our big screens, and through our house speakers. It is the only day of the year that we play movies open to close like this.
All the time. You know, by now you should know if you've been here. You can always find something cool to watch, something going on. But this year we try and step it up a little bit, where through our DJ system, on the big TVs, 2 of them are brand new, by the way, look really nice. We get the movies going, and the bar staff knows to keep up on it to make sure that one follows the other.
So this year's lineup, starting at 11 a.m. on Sunday, will be Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Rogue One, Episode 4, A New Hope, Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, and Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Total run time is 13 hours and 16 minutes. So that means if we start at 11 a.m. and we really stay on top of it one after the other, we won't finish until about 12:15 a.m. So we still have to do last call when we're legally obligated to do last call and pull the alcohol. But we will allow viewers that wish to stay till the very end to watch the end of that movie.
Fun fact, as it stands as this recording, your boy Paul here will be working the night shift, so I will absolutely make sure.
So he's staying on top of the movie.
I'm staying on top of it.
So the lineup's been different most years, depending on new releases, continuity of story.
Right.
But this year we are keeping Episode 3 in as a nod to the prequels. And why, Paul, are we doing that?
I'm a big fan of the prequels. Okay, I enjoyed the movies. I like the movies. I'm not saying they're well-made movies, especially Episode 2. But I still enjoy them for what they are. For me, it's more it takes me back to where I was and what was going on when those movies came out, all the hype, and just that it was more Star Wars.
So which is your favorite episode?
Episode 1 is my favorite. Not a well done.
Hold down there.
I know. Please. Don't switch the video over just yet.
And why?
Just because I got to experience. I was around in '77. I was a baby. Didn't get to see it. Jedi was the only one that I saw in theaters, but with Phantom Menace, I got the whole shebang. I got the build up of the toys. Back then, I had to read a magazine for the internet. Even still, no. I remember going online.
It was what were they called?
Chat rooms.
No, there was something else.
Message boards.
Something, yes, like that.
But
internet was brand new back then.
It was
pretty
new. It was pretty new. So I got to use a lot of company time back then, and do more research, read stuff, find out the spoilers, what was going to happen, ideas, thoughts.
Full fan experience, in my opinion. I got to wait in line at Toys R Us for the midnight opening of the toys. And it was Stockton, California. Not too much fun, but no, I got to wait in line for the movie. Everything I still have, and I can go on and on about this, but I still have a VHS tape that I popped in the VCR, and I set the timer to record the local nightly news to catch that first image of new Star Wars. So, anyways. And Episode 1, you liked the movie itself.
I did.
Because, yeah, I know you have he's got a great explanation for this. Why is Episode 1 your favorite?
I thought I just covered it.
No, the actual movie. What he said to me before was because it shows Jedi doing what Jedi are meant to do.
Yeah. So I'm always, with the 501st and all the costuming clubs, the Empire, the bad guys, Vader, Sith. I was always a big Jedi guy, and mostly it was because in that long gap where there was no Star Wars, I was reading books, and I mean
before the 5 kids.
Before the kids, yeah. I had an amazing library of all these books, and I just loved hearing and reading and imagining what was going on in these books. The Jedi doing this, Jedi doing that. So we, in my opinion, we finally got to see it. We got to see the Jedi Council, and then episode 2, we got to see them fight. I thought it was really cool.
So episode 4, of course, opens with the demise of the Jedi and the last few remaining, and so this is going back to their golden era. And it was the day-to-day stuff
perfect?
that he loved of being able to see.
We know now, and I'm older now. Maybe it's because I'm older now. No, they were really flawed in their beliefs and how they did things. But as a 20-something, I just wanted to see more Jedi on screen, lightsabers and fights and everything. So,
Episode 3, we got to wait in line to get in while I was pregnant with Miss.
Little Miss.
So it was 99 episode runs before we met. But by episode 3, we were able to wait in line, and we were pregnant with Miss while Padme was pregnant in the movies, and it was a lot of connection there. It
was very exciting. Very exciting.
My favorite episode, which is always making the cut, is Empire Strikes Back. Paul laughs at me for saying this, but what I've always loved about Star Wars is the swashbuckling, the adventure, the mix of humor and not being overly dramatic or taking itself too seriously, but just really having fun with the story and the characters. And so to me, more than any of the other episodes, episode 5 really shows that, exemplifies that excitement, that fun, that the rogue, the anti-hero and Han Solo, they'll begin the love story, even though he's brothers and sisters kissing, whatever. But I just always really enjoyed that aspect of it, and so that's always been. A few years back, I had a last-minute medical procedure done that didn't give me any warning, and so I had a few days bed rest. And so for the first time, probably since I was a kid, I watched episodes 4, 5, and 6, and I was just blown away by how much I thought I knew about it and remembered from growing up in the quoted lines and everything, but how much more story was there and how much more interesting the story was. And it was just really eye-opening to take this moment to sit down and watch him like that. I just hadn't done it in so long. He watches them all the time. He's laughing at me.
I get it enough. No, I'm laughing about other side stuff that you guys don't need to hear about.
So those are our favorite episodes. One won't be in the lineup because it was too hard for the continuity of story. We definitely want to include Rogue One, which has been a fan favorite since it came out.
Oh, for sure.
And so just to be able to include the prequels in a way that made sense and kept the storyline moving, we're doing episode 3 through 7 and including Rogue One.
Because it would just tear me apart to skip back and forth or skip a movie altogether. So
can't do that. Can't have it.
We passed on Solo. Rogue One really, really, really ties into episode 4. Solo, again, controversy. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Loved it.
But a lot of people have their issues with it, and it tells a great story, in my opinion. But it doesn't really.
It's truly a side story, so it doesn't have to do with the continuity of the story, or at least with the Rogue One, like you really are. It ends and you go right into episode 4, and so we felt like for continuity of story. Again, Solo though gave me that swashbuckling, and I went into it not thinking I was going to like it. So I think that I've learned that it's more about what I bring to the movies than what the movies bring to me, and that my expectations have a lot to do with it. So Solo, I didn't know about the casting. I saw the pictures. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to buy it. And then I was really impressed with the performance, and I did feel like I was watching a young Solo, and I did like the swashbuckling, that it was adventurous, that it was fun, and it did tie in, as Rogue One did, it did go back to certain things we'd heard in the original trilogy, like the 12 parsecs, and there were some things that, and it did fill in some blanks for us, but continuity of the story, we didn't feel like it was necessary.
Right. So we figured this would be the best way to go.
And we have we have one from each trilogy this way, and
either way.
Next year we will have episode 9 though, because it's my one after Empire Strikes Back. Episode 9 is my favorite.
I'm not that big a fan of the Palpatine trilogy, but we'll let it go. That's for another show. Anyways,
cheers! Come check out this beer before it's gone. Oh, let's see, it's good.
It's that good.
Bye.